So I was watching a video. It was about It was Joe Rogan's podcast. He was talking to Tim Kennedy, which was a former UFC fighter, also a former military man. I don't know what his position was, but he was a soldier for the U.S. And they were chatting and everything. And Tim Kennedy had displayed the idea that there America is having a hard time recruiting people for our military, which is not surprising to a guy like me, since I'm smart enough to realize the root of every problem in our human world. I'm here to tell you the root of our problem, and I'm here to tell you that I'm going to get rid of our problem, because I know you won't, you humans. But if you can prove me wrong that you will, maybe you can work with me on this, and we'll prevail in the future. Or maybe you already know what to do. So good for you, and thank you if you are one of those kinds of people. That being said, I'm going to do my part here. I'm just going to tell you my thoughts. And according to Tim Kennedy in the video, the podcast, he said that the American military is having trouble recruiting soldiers. And it's kind of dying off, and there's less soldiers to, I guess, to deploy, and something like that. And he said the reason is because a lot of people are not in shape and a lot of people are mentally not determined enough. Now, this is so typical to me because I talk a lot about, I already understand that the biggest problem in America is us. We have a lot of problems altogether, but there's a root problem, and that's the lack of wisdom and a couple of other things. But nonetheless, all that lack of wisdom and lack of understanding what life is about, since all citizens, all you stupid fat citizens, lack that, you citizens are fat as a result. All you do is have sex as a result. You listen to that. You guys listen to bad influences as a result. Your kids and you adults. The kids and their parents. So our entertainment is a bad influence, which leads us to doing those things more, such as doing drugs as a result, and just plenty of other things that get us nowhere. Going to excessive parties, addictingly, and going to strip clubs, just things that are so unimportant. Constantly masturbating a lot and looking at a lot of porn, and our minds are infested with just complete stupidity. And all of these things wouldn't be a problem if they were only at least had been done at a minimum. It wouldn't have to disappear, but be done at a minimum. But we're doing it as a maximum. And a maximum amount of our people are all addicted to these things. So with that said, that's already the root right there. There's your root right there. These stupid people are unwise, and thus they indulge in all of these activities. So this builds the idea that a lot of people aren't going to care about a lot of things that are truly important, due to that some of them are too stupid. They don't know that they're important and why, and that they're too addicted to these things that hold them back from the importance of life. One of those things, the importance of life, would be losing weight, not being fat, and actually just being fit, being in shape. If we had been in shape in our country, we would have more warriors. We would be capable of having more people to join a military or have a reason to join. Also, let me tell you something. Homosexuality, I have nothing against it when it's there. It has to exist. But the influence of homosexuality has populated too fast, way too fast, over the last few years. And it's only going to increase now over the next generations. This is bad because that's also lessening our warriors. I talked about this before, and some people probably thought I was stupid when I talked about the idea of homosexuality and why the influence of it is bad. Homosexuality, it to me, is not bad, but the influence of homosexuality, influencing people to just be gay or be anything, and be out of their gender roles is bad. Because since, like, for example, if we have too many girly men, and yes, we do have too many girly men now, even in this year of 2018, there's too many fucking men that are not only transsexuals or gay, but too many men that are fucking girly, straight men that are not manly anymore. And this comes from the result of influence. Everything comes from influence. And that being said, there's a lot of gay influence now. There's a lot of gay, lesbian influence and so forth. But dealing with guys, it's actually 2 times worse because now we have less warriors, less soldiers. I said this before. But Tim Kennedy only confirms that this is true, that there are less soldiers, and that's crazy. It's not only about being out of shape, but there's also the idea of being manly. If men had been manlier, that would be good because we would have a better chance at having more warriors. The idea of being what we call what makes what we call being manly comes from the having a warrior spirit, having a spirit of being brave and having a strong body, wanting to build muscle, the desire to be athletic or be competitive at something. These things are what's required to be a warrior in the first place. So if our men are manly, if more of them are manly, they will have more of a likely chance of being brave enough to join the military. They will also have leadership, so they will have an understanding of why we need a military in the first place. There's just so much that go hand in hand in this. A lot of homosexuals don't even think shit about war. So that being said, I have nothing against homosexuality. Hell, we need it. It's fucking lovely. I don't care. I love homosexuals. I don't care. I might even date a girly guy someday. You never know. I'm a completely different kind of human being. I'm not your average, and I truly respect homosexuals, transsexuals. It doesn't matter to me. But I know right from wrong, and we at least have to do things right. We can have homosexuals in our world the right way, but we have done something wrong here. We have lost order. Order we have lost. This is why I said order is important, because if we had more order, or at least obeyed it or respected it, we would control our influence of homosexuality. We would not influence this way too blatant, way too much. We would only carefully have homosexuals among us, but not influence people to just be out of their gender roles. So we do have to be careful with that scientifically. And Tim Kennedy confirming our lack of soldiers and how weak they are completely proves it. But do your own research, look it up. I mean, it's just this is important because we always have a reason to go to war, whether it's because we're innocent or we're not. But we want to be innocent, but there's always a reason to protect someone out there, another nation. We can't just live in this world through selfishness, or someone might attack us for whatever reason they might do it for. We always have to be strong, and this is the only way to be strong. We can't depend on our women being manly. We can, I mean, it'd be nice, but we need our men to be, we need our men. We just do. We need them to be manly. That being said, they don't have to be straight, but that's what the idea of someone being homosexual comes from, the idea that they were feminine. So in that regard, that's another factor. It is another factor. We have to control our influence. Our bad influence is terrible. We have demons in this country if you're Christian, and we have evil in this country if you're atheist. If you want to look at it from that aspect, we have something bad in this country, and we need to get rid of it. Part of that is a bad influence, which influences people to be fat. All these fast food restaurants is another bad influence, getting people out of shape, stopping us from having more warriors. We have such a big population of people in this country. It's like, how can we have a problem with this? But we do. It's not just about being out of shape, man. There's other things that cause these men to be fucking pathetic. I mean, look at you, men. Look at you. You guys are fucking pathetic. We need an upgrade. And there wouldn't be anything wrong with it. It would only be better. It'd be for our own good, to have an upgrade. We need more warriors, more people with determination. But everybody's dream now is to become some fucking dirty rapper, or not do anything with their life, and smoke weed all fucking day. That's another thing. It's another bad influence out there. The heavy addiction to sex and weed. Now, sex is not much of an influence, except for the fact that people just don't see anything else in life as important but sex. Um, I shouldn't have said it like that, but you know what I'm saying. If you don't take that as a joke. But seriously, I mean, except for sex, people don't see anything else important. Um, when when people are addicted to things like that, it's like, for some reason, it could be a magical thing, a spiritual thing, evil spiritual thing. I don't know what it is. But when people are addicted to sexual activity, they somehow don't know the importance of life. It's like they don't really care about heroism. They just don't. It's the kind of person that it is, that they don't take life seriously. They think everything's a joke, and a sexual joke at that. I don't know why, but that's what it does. There's something weird about sex, that when someone looks at porn too much, they tend not to take life seriously. It's not always true, but I've seen this a lot. A lot of these people, and they're trolls too, the commenters, they always speak in a sexual manner, and they do it on situations that should be serious. They tend to just lose the meaning of life because all they indulge in is fucking porn, anything sexual. It's too addicting. It's strong. It's a powerful thing. Sex is. It's crazy because it's something that feels so good that you can get attached to it and not care about anything else. That's why we have to control that. For those of you who did not believe that controlling the idea of porn or censoring it in the sexual world was important, you should believe it. Because when someone is attached to it, they stay stuck on it and they don't give a fuck about anything else outside of it. Because it's so powerful, it feels too good, that they lose meaning of anything else in life. Why? Because they don't think about anything but that. They don't think about anything but that. The only thing they care for is sex. That's all they think about. They think of nothing else except for sex. Because it's something that is feeling so good to them. So that's all that's on their mind. If all they do is look at porn all fucking day, that's what you computer losers do. You stupid ass nerds, you fat hairy fucks on your computer, that's all you guys do is jack off. If that's all you do, then that's all you ever will do. Your future will be contained with that. You'll have less sex with your wife and rather just jack off. That's how people are becoming. Besides the idea of capturing STDs when they become so sexual, they also lose the meaning of finding true love and things like that. They just want several different women, and dirty women at that. So there's too much of a reason that we are distracted from having true warriors in our country. And honestly, people who even take life seriously. Um, the addiction to sex is powerful. It just leads to other things that leave us addicted into a world, a sexual world, and no other world outside of that. So these are the kinds of people who are not joining the military because they don't even have dreams. They don't really find anything else important. They're stupid people. Fuck them. We gotta get those people out of here. We gotta really change these people. I'm gonna change your fucking lives. You guys will never forget this. But drugs is another bad influence that stops us from having more military people. Drugs, yes, the addiction to weed and all that, and all these other things, such as cigarettes and beer drinking and drinking at parties and things like that. The addiction to these things surely influence less soldiers. Because a lot of people who do those things, they get out of shape. First of all, these things get them all out of shape, and they just don't want to ever be off it. Once they get to these things, they're addicted. You guys are addicted to this shit. All of you people smoke. Every last one of you. Those of you who are listening to me talk now, you probably smoke fucking weed. And I'm not trying to offend you. bless your heart for listening to me now. But I must tell the truth. I would be more wrong if I did not tell the truth. But, your lives ain't shit. That's just the truth. Until you drop that addiction. But your future can be something for sure. But what you are now, if you're addicted to drugs and all that, I mean, what are you if you're addicted to something like that? Something that doesn't have a meaning, that doesn't really provide you with a future, but keeps you in place while you focus on it and you occupy yourself with it. If that's your addiction and your addiction is not anything that actually um, evolves your life, then, well, you just have to really sit and think about where you're at. And it to me, it just doesn't hold any value. Cigarettes and pills or the addiction to weed, it just holds no value. It's just you're putting something in your mouth, you're smoking it, and you're sitting there. That's it. You're probably not even fucking thinking. And I know a lot of people might say that they think a lot, but a lot of weed smokers that I've seen are fucking dumbasses. I mean, you guys don't sound smart, no offense, but they're dumbasses. I do not sense any wisdom in any weed smoker. And we do it more than probably more than any country at this point. We smoke weed like fucking crazy. And I'm hearing shit about legalizing weed in certain places. It's getting crazy. It's getting demonic in this country. And what can I say? We're fucked up like that. So what would you expect? Of course this was going to happen. But you got to tell the truth. It's not good. You have to tell the truth. It's not good. We're fucking lazy and pathetic. We are so pathetic. So, yeah, all I see is failures within that. I can't see anybody joining the military if they're stuck on drugs. These things take us away from the good things in life. They really do. They subtract us from that because all we do is stay addicted and stuck on these things. It's like being hypnotized by the devil. Like it's crazy. Our addiction to these things. We have gotten out of hand with it because we don't do anything else. And we probably started with these things such as drugs, sex, and fast food and all that due to the idea that we didn't have a dream in the first place. Some of us, most of us, do not have the wisdom to even think not to do this stuff. So the only where else to turn is the bad stuff. And this is why it's important to teach your humans wisdom. If you had done that, then one of the things that would be fueled among many would be we would have stronger and better and more populated soldiers in our military. Now that I know this, I'll be sure to make sure it happens. Also, on the Tim Kennedy video, I want to add in that I did look down at the comments as I usually do to see some of the thoughts from you savage humans who think it's cute to be savage, to be demon. And obviously, of course, as usual, the comments were negative, and they always are. Anything to do with the country is negative, and it does show why we have kneelers, people who kneel against the flag, the American flag. A lot of you people in those comments, you guys are such hypocrites because I know some of those commenters are against the kneelers. Ironic because you guys have no fucking American pride at all. Because a lot of those comments, almost every comment was negative. Every comment, and they had a lot of likes too. So a lot of people, basically the majority of you stupid Americans, agree with your judgment on those comments, even though none of you know shit about politics. You're just a citizen like me who really only know basic information of what you see and perceive from the world around you. And you guys talk like you're very sure that we live in a country not worth saving. And the comments were very careless. Like people just didn't give a shit. They just thought it's not worth having a military and all this other stuff. And some people had some good reasons for why they don't respect it, but it was like none of you were helpful in any way, shape, or form. You were very negative, at least in a way that meant you just dismiss. Like you're very dismissive of the shit we got going on here in America. Like you just give up. And that's what the comments were like. They were very dismissive of our military, and it's like they don't give a shit. You clearly don't care. And that's just the result you get when you don't care. I mean, when somebody doesn't care about you, you think they'll do anything for you? No, no. Funny thing is, you shitty hypocrites need them. You always need help. You people can never do things alone. You always have found yourself, past, present, or future, to know that you need help, that you want the government to take care of you. But you speak like you don't give a shit about it, that if you ever had a chance to be the government, you wouldn't take care of anybody else. You guys are the same. What does not take care of you, you don't take care of it. You guys are mirroring exactly how you're being treated. Your responses is the same as what you're getting back. Fuck you guys for that. You deserve to suffer. You people giving out the most disrespectful comments about our American military. And I understand that some of the things that I've read are probably truthful, that they believe that the military is not respectful to its soldiers or something like that they're harsh, or that the reason why we're at war is a bad reason, and things like that. I do completely understand. Those are at least educated comments, but there weren't very many of them. The rest were just very disrespectful and very dismissive, like, I don't fucking care. Who cares? And it's like, you know what? This is why you're treated the way you're treated now, because of faggots like you who are in power, who don't give a fuck either. So it's like you're only repeating the cycle. You know what you're gonna do? You're gonna have a kid who also doesn't give a fuck. If they ever get in power, they will treat someone else like that. They will be a part of a government, or be a part of a presidency, or part of anything that is in control, or anything that's in control of a military, and they will treat people like shit with that same kind of not giving a fuck type of mindset. Um, this mindset of gives no fucks, I want to kill whoever made that fucking word up, that phrase, that slogan, gives no fucks. You have a small fucking penis that you don't give a fuck about anything in life. Fuck you. And you know what? When you suffer, no one should give a fuck either. No one should give a fuck. But I'll tell you this. I give a fuck. I care. So you guys better watch out for me, because the day that I'm able to take control because I gave a fuck, I will not let any retarded, careless bastard get in my fucking way. If you do, while you don't give a fuck, you'll get your fucking ass whooped. That's what will happen, and nobody will give a fuck that you get your face beat in. I can't stand people like that. Man, I can't stand people like that. Those are the kinds of Americans we have in our fucking country. A bunch of fucking terrorists. And it's like, majority of you fag people. So you really can't trust yourselves, which means you can't trust other Americans, because you got to be afraid that they might be like you dumbasses. So the comments were very careless, and I didn't see any American pride at all. Didn't seem like anybody gave a shit. Um, they were very careless, and it's like, when is somebody just gonna say, you know what? I care. I want to make something different. I want to make this kind of change. I want to make something work here, and and just be helpful within their claims, and instead of just having this mentality of giving up and just being dismissing the issue, and just influencing everybody with that kind of sense of heart, that kind of mentality, to do this same exact thing as your useless ass did, which is to dismiss the situation and not give a shit. I mean, it would be so fucked up right now if we were at war and someone decided to declare war on us, and none of you shitty fuckers really give a shit. Ugh, I hate people like that. Like, I want to rip your fucking face off. I just really do. Whoever you are, man. People like that, I cannot stand them. Like, they think it's funny to leave this country to hell, to leave it abandoned. They think it's funny. Man, I'm going to show them. I'm going to show them what's funny. Discipline will be real someday. It will be real. If you're with me on this, I love you for it, and bless your heart. Stay strong. Have a heart of gold. And if you're religious, you know God cares. He does. He's not the type that will abandon something or give up. So would you be? And if you're atheist, you can be atheist and have good in your heart. Never give up. You know that that's good. So hold on to what's good.